In France, 3,000 stones stand in lines older than Stonehenge. They were raised 6,500 years ago, before the pyramids. And every soul who raised them died, their reason lost. This is Carnac, in Brittany, on the French coast. Over 3,000 menhirs march for 4 kilometers straight. No machine lifted them, no wheel, no metal, no writing. The largest weighs 300 tons and towers 20 feet. A stone that size, if it slipped, crushed men instantly. Many died beneath them, buried by the thing they built. And we still cannot say who they were. They left no name, no word, no God we can read. Just gray rows of stone, silent for 6,000 years. Walk between them and you feel the dead watching. Each stone stands taller than a man, deep in earth. They run dead straight over hills, dips, and broken ground. Keeping that line takes math we never gave these people. Holding that line for 4 kilometers is no accident. Someone planned this. Someone we erased from history. To raise one 20-ton stone, hundreds hauled on ropes. They rolled the giants on logs across soft ground. One snapped rope could kill a dozen men at once. And the records say the dead were simply replaced. Generations were born, labored, and died at these rows. Children grew old, hauling stones they never saw finished. The labor spanned 1,000 years of human lives. 1,000 years to build a message nobody can read. Why pour a civilization into raising rock? Some say the rows tracked the sun across 365 days. On the longest day, light spears straight down the line. It may be the oldest calendar ever built by hand. Others say they marked the paths walked by the dead. Beside the rows lie 30 tombs, sealed for 6,000 years. Inside those graves, the bones crumbled to gray dust. The people who lay there took the answer to the grave. Carved into a few stones, axes, snakes, strange marks. Symbols that meant everything once, now lost forever. A legend calls them a Roman legion, frozen in red dusk. A wizard cursed the 3,000 men to stand forever. The legend is fantasy. The silence of them is real. At dusk, the dark crowd of stones seems to watch. 3,000 silent shapes, holding formation for 6,000 years. Each one was dragged from quarries, 4 kilometers away. Some granite matches no source we have ever found. Hauling one 20-ton block could take an entire winter. Frozen ropes tore the men's hands raw and red. In summer, the heat killed the weak where they stood. Still, they raised stone after stone after stone. 1,100 pillars stand in one alignment alone, at Carnac. Another 1,000 fill the rows called Carmario, and 500 more are scattered into the trees and farms. Once there were far more than 3,000 of them. For 300 years, farmers smashed them for walls and roads. Each shattered stone destroyed a clue forever. Whole sections of the pattern are simply lost. Storms toppled others into the rising gray sea. Some now lie drowned off the Brittany shore. The dark sea rose and swallowed part of the message. So the puzzle erodes faster than we can solve it. Even the experts cannot agree on a single purpose. Calendar, temple, graveyard, border, or all at once. Every theory dies within 100 meters of the next field. The stones refuse to fit one neat story, and the gray clues keep crumbling and vanishing. And the deeper you dig, the stranger Carnac gets. Beneath some pillars, the builders buried offerings. Jade axes carried from the Alps, 1,000 kilometers away. Treasures buried where no living eye would ever see them. Gifts for a god whose name died with the dead. The largest menhir ever raised once stood here. 20 meters tall, 300 tons of solid granite. It fell, and 4 pieces now lie in the grass. No one knows if it fell or was pulled down. Lifting 300 tons would have taken thousands of people. Picture the day they raised that 300-ton giant. One slip, and hundreds would be crushed flat and dead. They risked everything for a reason now buried. And when it finally stood, who did they thank? That answer died with the last person who knew it. We call the lost builders the megalith people, a name we invented because theirs died with them. They farmed this gray coast, then vanished completely. Their whole culture collapsed and died out. No invasion, no clear disaster, just silence. A people who moved mountains, gone without a trace. Newer settlers found the dead builders long gone. Even to the Celts, Carnac was 4,000 years old. They wove fireside myths to explain the stones. The Romans carved their own gods onto the rock. Each age guessed, and each age guessed wrong. For 6,000 years, the rows have kept the secret. Stand here at dawn, and you feel the weight of it. Roughly 2 million mornings have risen over these stones, every one of them watched by no living memory. Gray mist pools between the stones like slow water. And out of that fog, the lines just keep coming. You lose count long before you reach the end. That was the point, some believe, to overwhelm, to make the living feel small beside the dark dead. Carnac is older than every written word on earth. It predates the wheel in this corner of France, raised 6,500 years before bronze, kings, or named gods. These people raised mountains before they could write. The effort cost lives we will never count. Modern engineers still struggle to copy what they did. No one is certain how they raised the 300-ton giant. With ramps, levers, and bodies, they defied the rock. And men were crushed and killed at every stage. Each crushed and broken body fed the rising stone. The cost was death, and the reward was meaning. Meaning so vital, they bled 50 generations for it. And that meaning is the thing we have completely lost. Imagine spending your whole life hauling one row. You would die before the line was ever finished, trusting strangers 100 years away to continue the work. That is faith, carved into 4 kilometers of granite. And the faithful are gray dust, scattered and nameless. We dig, we scan, we measure every angle. Satellites now map the lines from 400 miles above. From the sky, the pattern is breathtaking and baffling. Lines that bend, fan out, then snap straight again, as if obeying rules we have forgotten how to see. Every answer we propose, the gray stones outlast. They were old when the first cities were young. They will likely outlast our cities too, because granite keeps a secret far better than men. Today you can walk where the builders bled and died. Run your hand down stone shaped by the long dead. Feel the chisel scars left 6,000 years ago. Those scars are the only signature they left. A signature in stone, but never a name. Some stones lean now, slowly bowing to time. Others have stood dead upright the whole while. Each is a survivor of 6,000 frozen winters. Frost, war, farmers, and the sea all failed to erase them. They simply refused to fall silent forever. And every visitor leaves with the same question. Who were they, and what were they trying to say? 3,000 stones, raised by the hands of the long dead. People who died moving rock for a reason, erased. They poured 1,000 years into this windswept coast, then vanished, leaving granite where their voices should be. Stonehenge rose 1,000 years later. The pyramids came later still. Carnac stood first, and Carnac keeps its silence. 3,000 stones, older than Stonehenge, still unexplained.